There is a photograph of Vera from 1964. She is 38 years old. She works 5 days a week on her feet behind a counter in Leeds city center. She has 3 children, a husband on shift work, and a house that doesn't run itself. She is in bed by 10:30 every night without exception. Her bedroom window is open an inch regardless of the weather. There is no clock in the room. The warm milk on the hob is the last thing she makes before she goes up. Vera is 79 years old now. 3 people who knew her in the 1960s, asked independently to describe her, used the same word, radiant. Not one of them mentioned a product. She never thought of any of it as a routine. Neither did anyone else on her street, because everyone went to bed this way. No sleep tracking, no magnesium spray, no weighted blanket in a linen cover. Just 8 habits so ordinary they didn't have names. Then something changed. Not Vera's body, not her biology. What changed is what this video is about. Before number 8, subscribe. This channel exists to tell you exactly this kind of thing. Hit the button and let's keep going. Number 8. They went to bed at the same time every night. 10:30. Not 11 on weekdays and 2 in the morning on Saturdays. Not whenever the film finished or whenever the scroll stopped. 10:30, the same as last night, the same as tomorrow. Vera's body knew it was coming. It had known for 20 years. The circadian rhythm. The internal clock that governs sleep, waking, cortisol, melatonin, and a dozen other biological processes, optimizes around consistency above almost everything else. A 2019 study in Scientific Reports found that irregular sleep timing was associated with higher rates of depression, anxiety, and chronic fatigue, independently of total sleep duration. It wasn't just how long you slept, it was whether your body could predict when sleep was coming. The sleep coaching industry, apps, programs, therapists, courses specifically dedicated to retraining sleep schedules, is now worth billions within the broader $82 billion sleep market. Vera never heard of sleep coaching. She just had somewhere to be at 10:30. Her body showed up ready. Number 7. The bedroom was cold. The window stayed open an inch. In winter, too. Vera's bedroom in a Leeds terrace in January was not a warm room, and nobody expected it to be. You got into bed, the blankets came up, and the cold air sat just above the covers the way it always did. It was not a wellness choice. It was just the bedroom. Core body temperature must drop by approximately 1 to 2 degrees Celsius for sleep onset to occur and be maintained through the night. This is not a modern discovery. It is basic physiology that has not changed since Vera was born. The optimal sleep environment temperature, according to sleep medicine research, is between 15 and 19 degrees Celsius. A Leeds terrace bedroom in January with the window open an inch hits that range without a thermostat. The smart home temperature control market, devices that regulate bedroom temperature for optimal sleep, is worth $4.7 billion. It solves, via a 200-pound device and a monthly subscription, a problem that Vera solved with a window latch. She didn't know she was solving anything. She just liked the cold air. Number 6. There was no light after 9. The overhead light went off. The lamp went off. Vera read by a low lamp until 9:30, then that went off too. The bedroom was dark in a way that modern bedrooms, with their standby lights and street glow through thin curtains and phone screens on the nightstand, almost never are. Melatonin, the hormone that signals sleep onset, is suppressed by light exposure, particularly blue spectrum light. This was not understood in 1964, but the conditions that protected melatonin production were simply the conditions of the era. There were no screens emitting blue light at 11 p.m. The lights went off because there was nothing left to see by. The blue light blocking glasses market is worth $27 million and growing. The blue light filtering screen protector market adds more. The F.Lux software, the night shift setting, the amber bulb industry, all of it exists to undo the damage done by the screens we were sold before anyone mentioned what they did to melatonin. Vera's bedroom was dark because it was bedtime. Her melatonin did what melatonin does when nobody interferes with it. Number 5. They didn't eat after 7. The kitchen closed after the washing up, not as a rule anyone stated, just as the natural end of the evening. Dinner was at 6. The washing up was done by 7. After that, the kitchen was not a place you went, not because Vera was disciplined, because there was nothing there calling to her. The snack food industry didn't exist yet. The kitchen was just a room. Eating close to sleep on set elevates core body temperature, raises insulin, and suppresses the growth hormone release that occurs in the first hours of deep sleep. The same growth hormone, responsible for cellular repair, collagen synthesis, and the overnight regeneration that makes the difference between waking up looking rested and waking up looking like you didn't sleep. This mechanism has not changed since 1964. Vera's face every morning was, in part, a product of the kitchen being closed at 7. The overnight diet supplement industry, the protein before bed, the casein shake, the late-night metabolism booster, is worth hundreds of millions. It sells products for an eating window that didn't exist before the snack food industry opened it. Number 4. The warm milk. Last thing, every night. Vera put a small pan of milk on the hob while she locked up, poured it into the blue mug that lived on the second shelf, and drank it standing at the kitchen window before she went up. It took 4 minutes. It cost almost nothing. It was the signal, to herself, to her body, that the day was over. Milk contains tryptophan, a precursor to serotonin and melatonin. The effect of a small amount of warm dairy before sleep is modest but real, confirmed by research in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition as producing a measurable reduction in sleep onset time. But the mechanism that mattered most was not biochemical. It was ritualistic. The warm milk was a cue. The body recognized it. By the time Vera reached the top of the stairs, the process was already underway. The sleep supplement market, melatonin tablets, magnesium glycinate capsules, ashwagandha tinctures, L-theanine drops, is worth $814 million in the UK and US alone. Vera's warm milk cost 4 pence. It worked for 40 years. Not because milk is magic, because consistency is. Number 3. There was no clock in the bedroom. This one surprises people. The alarm clock in Vera's house was in the hallway. You set it before bed, you closed the bedroom door, and you couldn't see it from the pillow. Not because Vera had read about sleep anxiety, because there was nowhere obvious to put a clock in a small bedroom, and nobody had told her she needed one within arm's reach. Sleep researchers now identify clock watching as one of the most consistent behaviors that perpetuates insomnia. Waking at 3 a.m. and immediately checking the time, calculating how many hours remain, feeling the anxiety of the number, activates the prefrontal cortex and makes return to sleep measurably harder. Vera woke occasionally in the night the way everyone does. She had no idea what time it was. She went back to sleep. The alarm clock market is worth $2.1 billion. Every version of it, the sunrise clock, the sleep tracking device, the phone on the nightstand, puts a number in the bedroom. That number costs more sleep than it saves. Number 2. They moved through the whole day. Vera was on her feet from 8 in the morning until 5:30. She walked to the bus, she walked home, she cooked, cleaned, and ran the house for the 3 hours after that. By 10:30, she was not engineering sleep on set. She was simply exhausted in the clean, uncomplicated way that a body exhausted by genuine physical activity becomes exhausted. The sleep that followed was deep because the need was real. Research published in Mental Health and Physical Activity found that occupational physical activity, movement that occurs as part of work and daily life rather than scheduled exercise, produces significantly better sleep quality than sedentary days supplemented by gym sessions. The body doesn't distinguish between steps taken on a shop floor and steps taken on a treadmill. But steps taken across a full day produce a different quality of tiredness than 30 minutes of elevated heart rate followed by 8 hours of sitting. Vera wasn't tired because she had optimized her evening. She was tired because she had lived a full day. The sleep followed naturally. It always does when you let it. Number 1. She protected the morning. This is the one the sleep industry most needs you not to know. Vera got up at the same time every morning, whether she'd slept well or not. 6:30. The alarm in the hallway. No snooze. Not because she was disciplined, because the children needed feeding and the bus didn't wait. She was downstairs and moving within 10 minutes. In winter, the kitchen was cold and the light through the window was gray, and none of it was optional. Here is what that morning routine was doing to her sleep. Sleep drive, the biological pressure to sleep that builds across the waking day, accumulates from the moment you wake. The longer you are awake and active, the stronger the drive, the faster you fall asleep, the deeper the sleep when it comes. Waking at the same time every morning, regardless of the previous night, is the single most evidence-backed intervention in sleep medicine. More than any supplement, more than any device, more than any program. Vera didn't know any of this. She got up at 6:30 because the children needed feeding. Her sleep drive was building by 7. By 10:30, it was doing exactly what it was designed to do, pulling her toward the cold bedroom, the open window, the dark room with no clock. And she went. Because she was ready, because she had been ready every night for 40 years. The sleep industry sells solutions to a problem that is, in most cases, a morning problem dressed as a night problem. You cannot fix the night without fixing the morning. Vera fixed the morning because she had no choice. The rest took care of itself. When I started looking into this, I assumed the difference was stress, that women in 1964 simply had less to worry about. Fewer pressures, slower lives, quieter minds. That is not what the evidence shows. Vera had 3 children, a husband on rotating shifts, a job on her feet, and a house to run on a wage that didn't stretch easily. She had plenty to worry about. What she didn't have was a device in her bedroom emitting light at 11 p.m., a snack industry keeping the kitchen open all night, or a culture that had normalized the idea of going to bed at a different time every night and calling it a lifestyle. The conditions for sleep were simply present. Nobody had removed them yet. Vera passed away in 2009. Her daughter still lives in the same Leeds terrace. The blue mug is still on the second shelf. She uses it every night now. She says she sleeps better than she has in years. Pick one thing from this list: the same bedtime, the cold window, the clock in the hallway, the warm milk. Try it for 2 weeks. Come back in the comments and tell me what it did. The next video is ready.